welcome to the Play PSVR podcast, and we thank you for coming and listening to us on this beautiful week, the last weekend in March. Actually, technically, by the time you listen to this, good chance it'll be April. And most of the time we hop on here and we're a bunch of complete freaking idiots. But I've got a good story to share, something that's miraculous, honestly. So I saw this in the news, and Alex and I both work in the medical field, so maybe this is part of the reason why I geeked out about it. So there's a University of Arkansas. They had a team of surgeons and physicians who found and removed you won't believe this, Alex, a 200-pound ovarian tumor from a 30-year-old woman. The tumor was so large, it was benign, it spanned an entire yard wide. I mean, absolutely, imagine, it's insane. I didn't see a picture of it. I'm read the report. The doctor said that the tumor was growing since the patient was 15 years old, so like 15 years still. The size is incredible. And while the doctor told the patient that she needed to go on a diet and start losing as much weight as possible, pretty much surgery was inevitable. And so just last week, they performed surgery. It was 4.5 hours long. The tumor was removed miraculously, as still blows my mind. The patient left the hospital this week and said in a report that it was the first time in years that she could cross her legs.
Oh, that's really interesting. The craziest thing about it is that I read that report, and you're leaving off the important part, is that it said that they took the tumor, and the tumor just kind of seemed to move on its own. And, kind of like, a biblical thing, they decided to name the tumor Adam because it was like the first of its kind. And the report even went on to say that these days the tumor is apparently hosting a PlayStation VR podcast. So that's really weird. Yeah. It's just it's odd. Yeah.
It is.
A 200-pound tumor named Adam hosting the podcast. Adam, you're a tumor on this podcast.
No, I made it up, man.
Okay. Well, I don't get the punchline, dude.
It was supposed to be funny because she said it was the first time in years she could cross her legs.
I don't get it. I don't get the punchline, man. I want to laugh with you. I don't get it.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say anything after you said your thing, because I was like, oh no, does that joke suck? I'm starting to think of jokes. Like, look, she had a 200-pound tumor between her legs.
I don't care.
It was the first time in years she could cross her legs.
Is there some double entendre I'm missing? Is there some wordplay that's going on, or do you really think it's humorous that women cross their legs sometimes?
No, I thought it was funny. There's no hidden. Screw it.
I want to go back in time and watch you formulate that joke to yourself, sitting in your stupid little chair, thinking about some woman with it. Tumors aren't funny, Adam. Let's move on.
F you. The whole thing was she was able to cross her legs, and it's first time in years.
Okay, yeah.
F you. Fans, you can let me know how funny that was, because unfortunately I have $1 for a co-host. You suck. Let's cover the gamer juices of the week.
All right. Yeah, I'll start with my gamer juice. It's State of Play. We're going to discuss it in the second segment, but baby, we are popping bottles. We're out here celebrating. I got my spiked seltzer, Bone and Vive. Why does that sound familiar? I think it's made by like two chicks or something. They were on the Super Bowl. Anyways, cranberry flavored. Bullcrap. It's like water that's bubbly, and I think there's some alcohol in it.
Dude, this was on the pot or in the Super Bowl, and I wanted to try it, and I totally forgot about it.
I'm trying the hell out of it right now. State of Play, baby. We popping bottles for No Man's Sky VR.
Let's go. Really, I am very interested in this. I want you to tell me how it is, because
I love it. It tastes like cranberry and bubbles. I love it.
Are you kidding me? Does it really?
It really tastes pretty good. Yeah.
Okay, then what's it called again?
Spiked seltzer, Bone and Vive. Bone and Vive.
Where do you get
Bone, as in Adam loves bones, and Vive, as in VR, HTC Vive.
Boners.
Boners and Vives.
Where do you get it?
I get it at the gas station, Adam. I stop at the gas station like a hobo, and I pick up my alcoholic beverages.
Is that come and go?
That's actually what Bone and Vive means in French. Come and go.
Oh, I thought you meant Bone and Vive.
Bone and Vive, come and go.
Dude, I gotta get some of that. Okay, well, while you're sipping on something real sweet and dandy, I just got straight up pickle juice, baby. And you may be like, pickle juice, WTF, mate? One, there's pickles in it, so nourishment. Two, I went for a 5-mile run today, and I ate tacos right before. Horrible decision. I got to mile 4. I had to start walking because I really thought I was going to blow chunks. But regardless, I sweat all those electrolytes out. Pickle juice is one of the best things you can drink to rehydrate, dog. So let's go pickle juice for the win. Start talking to me about what
I need to comment on this. Everybody, please just make a note that Adam tonight admitted that he spent his evening eating tacos. He was grossed out by it, and so to save himself, he decided to go enjoy a bunch of pickles. Adam, I can't think of a more phallic drink for you to enjoy than pickle juice. But moving on from that.
What?
Moving on from that, we're going to talk about our Power A Play of the Week. Do you want to go first?
I'm not laughing at any of your jokes the rest of the podcast because you didn't laugh at mine. I'm not laughing at a single one.
All right. Give me something, Adam. Tell me about your Power A Play of the Week.
Okay. Well, honestly, we don't know if there's a Power A Play of the Week. I would say that quite possibly it could be anyone's diary for you, but you can't platinum it because you're a big old sissy, which you'll talk to us about later. I'm going to say we don't have a play of the week because I don't know what it is. We actually just did our Play PSVR Golden stream. That's on Wednesday nights at 9:30 Eastern. If you're not joining us, join us. We got Bob. We got Judge Judy. We got VR Grid. We got VR Sofa. We got Alex or Adam, depending on which one is playing. The other one's monitoring the chat. We got them all, baby. You need to come join it. We had Mizzou in today. We had
a little bit of Will. A little bit of Will came in.
A little bit of Will. I mean, we have tons of people. Come in, talk to us, make fun of us. Join us next week. We don't know what we're playing. Typically, Alex and I go back and forth on who plays. I mean, it was a fun game. Summer Funland, it's just a bunch of mini games. But the thing is, I really want to drive home is the fact that it's definitely platinumable, baby. And I'm already up 4-0 in the Platinum Challenge. I'm going to play this till my hands, till they bruise, till I lose them, till they fall off. And then I'm going to be up 5-0 on you. And you are in almost an insurmountable hole, Alex. And it's not even halfway through the year. I mean, I'm on fire. I'm loving it. The game's not too bad. Easily the best mini game I've played thus far. You climb a lighthouse, which is actually pretty cool because you got to figure out where do you go, and just some of the components of that experience was really neat. And most of the other ones honestly weren't that great. But I think there's 12 in all, 12 mini games. So there's some variety and it's not great. I mean, if it's on a deep sale, I say definitely probably pick that up. But that's where I'm at with Summer Funland. I'm not really going to dive any further into that.
All right. Yeah, it looked like, as far as I can tell, it looked like Carnival games. So I don't really know which one's better. Maybe this one's better because it's probably more developed than Carnival games because it's a newer game. The climbing game looked really fun, though, Adam, and it makes me think, why isn't there just like a game where like a Uncharted or something where you climb and then you got to hang off with one hand and shoot with the other hand, like a cliffhanger game, something really fun like that. They need to get on that. It's an obvious game mechanic that's right there, right for the picking.
It's probably if you got to use the move controllers and they suck too bad.
Probably that. Adam is really going on the move controllers. Anyways, a game where the move controllers are actually very useful and it's the preferred way to play is Anyone's Diary, which is kind of surprising. So right off the bat, Anyone's Diary is a short experience and it's a story-based experience, but it does some things that I really like and I really like in story games, and it's a rare thing to see. It's a game that shows you rather than tells you. So there's a narrative here, but the narrative isn't shoved in your face, and there's not, just people talking and stuff. Anyone's Diary, you're a person. It's a side-scrolling game, kind of like a side-scrolling diorama. You can move the environment around with the move controller, and you just hit X or square to move left and right, and you hit the move button to jump. It feels kind of like the old-school Prince of Persia in that aspect. But the point is, you're getting from point A to point B, moving some blocks around, some slight puzzle maneuvers to get from point A to point B. But the whole point is a story. And the story is you're this nondescript person who is, walking through the city. They finally get to their job. They get fired. And you get to the end of the first level, and this like red demon comes out of you. It's almost like the depression the depression inside of you has become embodied, and it's eating away at you from the inside out. And the rest of the game is your struggles against that depression, as it were. It's a short game. It'll take you about an hour to finish, so that's the downside of it. That being said, it's got a platinum, and I have devoted myself to getting the platinum for this game because if I get the platinum, I will be the first person in the world to get a platinum for this game. I have contacted the developers to help me get the last platinum, and it is impossible. I've done exactly what they said, and I still haven't gotten it right. I'm going to see if they've emailed me back so I can try to get the platinum because I need to put a point up on the scoreboard, and this is the game that's going to do it for me.
How much time have you put in thus far? Because you've replayed the entire game, right?
Yeah. So the game, the first time you play through, is probably going to take you about an hour, maybe a little bit more. There are 2 endings, and that's very important to know. Had I not been trying to platinum the game, I wouldn't have known that there was 2 endings, and I would have thought that the game was worse than it actually was. Maybe it takes you an hour and a half, 2 hours to get both endings. And honestly, I have to say, going for the platinum has caused me to explore this game a little bit more than I would have just given it a casual glance. And I really enjoy, I still enjoy the story even when I know it's happening. I can kind of move things around as they're happening in front of me, see things at a different angle, and kind of devote myself to, trying to understand what's going on in front of me. Because like I said, the story doesn't just tell itself to you. You have to pick up on subtle clues as to what's going on. It's not like a great grand mystery, but the game, this game is almost like a poem of a game. It's short and it's concise, but the meaning behind it, isn't obfuscated, but it's not obvious. And I can kind of get behind that. I kind of dig it. The music is beautiful. I love the graphical design of it. It's nothing mind-blowing. It's nothing technically superb. It's a really pretty game that has its own style, and it fits that style, and the style meshes well with the music in the game. So really interesting musical stuff happening when you get near the end of the game and you're really, the emotional beats are starting to hit. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil the game. If you really want to spoil it for yourself, you can watch. I played the whole game on the stream. But, yeah, I really dig the game. I don't know how much the price is. I'm sorry I can't give you a full recommendation or a point review of this game because it's not out in America. I don't know when it's coming out in America. They gave us a European code. So if you got some euros to drop, you might want to look into this game. When it does come out in America, if it's like $10, I'd recommend it. If it's more than $10, I'd say maybe wait for a sale. Either way, I'm really impressed with this game, and I'm disappointed that it's not out here yet. Anyone's diary. If it was my call, I'd say it's the Power A Play of the Week, but it's not my call. It's Adam's call, and Adam said no because Adam's a goober.
That's right. Okay, so we have a lot to cover in the next segments, and because we went ahead and recorded the last 2 segments already. Actually, as weird as that is, I want pretty much to end this, but. Alex, I just read something that is pretty big news, and I love it. Apparently, as of right now, according to Reddit, Everybody's Golf VR is available for pre-order right now.
Ooh, are you going to pull the trigger, man?
So here's the thing, and some things on Reddit, it's kind of some things are obviously true, and other things are a little more rumorish. So it is $23.99, which to me is not bad. That's pretty good for a full VR game. And people verified that it's not just a patch. It's going to be an entire game for itself. But some dude down here said that the only thing included are 3 courses and a driving range, which I feel like that can't be right? Like, that's not much.
Well, 3 courses, that's 3 sets of 18 holes. That's a decent amount of golf right there.
I guess that's true. I forgot about the fact that each course should be 18 holes. Yeah, you're right.
18 holes, 18 floors. I'm starting to see the connection here, Adam.
I hate you. If that's true, I would spend $24 for that without a doubt. And I will spend $24 for it without a doubt, especially if they give you a little something extra, which I don't know if they will. But just so that's on everybody's radar, that is awesome. And you will hear my excitement for it next segment. So,
all right. Well, that's it for segment 1. Stick around for segment 2 and 3. Adam and I go over the state of play in depth, get our unbiased opinions, the raw deal, the raw dog. We're foaming at the mouth for the announcements that we have coming for you, and then hang around for the airing of grievances because I get freaking heated in this one. And Adam is just, he's Adam, so that's always enjoyable. So stick around. We'll see you after the break. didn't know, I'm sure you know, if you're listening to this podcast, you definitely know that Sony had the State of Play. This is what they're doing now to replace E3, and this is where we're going to get all of our big coverage of the new games being announced. And I think it's kind of cool because this really catered to VR, and I think that this is a better showing for the PSVR than we had in E3 and maybe 2 E3s ago. So here, Adam and we're here ready to give you our hot takes, our hot cakes, what we're thinking about all the things that got announced during the State of Play. Are you ready to discuss some games, Adam?
Well, before we do that, I just want to say I imagined maybe 2, 3 VR games. The State of Play thing, I didn't know what to expect. First of all, honestly, I had no idea what it was going to be. I didn't realize it was going to be a 20-minute fast hitter of just games that are coming up. I kind of just initially, what did you think of the presentation? Instead of going to conferences and having these big reveals, it sounds like they're going to have multiple State of Play updates throughout the year. Do you like that they're doing that rather than going to some of the big conferences? Or what do you think about this method in which they are discussing and, I guess, showing new games that are going to be coming out in the future?
So Nintendo kind of set the mold. They started their Nintendo Directs where they kind of released information all throughout the year rather than dropping everything on you at E3. And it's been wildly successful. People have loved it. And so that's obviously what they're going for here. Now, as somebody who is technically in the media, we have a podcast, I'm disappointed that I don't have a free pass to trade shows to go to E3 and try and see some of these things. But on the other hand, I love that this didn't really waste my time. I got in, I watched a video for 20 minutes, and I came out with 10 new VR games rather than listening to cringy actors pretend like they like video games, or athletes making bad jokes about Madden, and nobody cares about Madden, but they have to show it because the E3 show is about raising your stock prices. So I like that this didn't waste my time. I'm disappointed that I'm not going to be anywhere to try these games out soon, although I guess if you're going to a conference from now until the game's released, you'll get a chance. But the other side is, a lot of these games are coming out soon anyway, so I'll be able to get to try them then. What do you think, Adam? How did you feel about the State of Play?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Granted, I will say that I probably liked it a lot because 90 everything but 3 games were PSVR related, so I was tuned in and I cared about the majority of the broadcast. But I kind of like that in a little chunk. I don't know. I remember last year for the first time watching E3 and caring because we had the podcast and the website, and it was just the first time I had watched it. And the excitement of both just social media and the hype of E3 in general, it was kind of cool to somewhat partake that. Even though I was watching it on a computer, that was really neat, in which this obviously didn't have that much hype to it. I thought it was cool. I wasn't blown away or anything, but I didn't realize Nintendo was doing that. So that kind of sucks that it's piggybacking off what Nintendo already has done. But, whatever. They're not going to E3. I'm glad at least they're having something, because honestly, I thought it was just they weren't going to have anything. And then it was only God knows what's coming up, which is one reason why we were I guess 2019 is going to suck a big nut.
Yeah.
But at least these, they did provide a decent amount of information. They gave us a lot of dates. They gave us a lot of games. Now, I have a feeling that every one of these isn't going to be like this, right? For whatever reason, this one was very VR specific, but surely they're not going to have 10 PSVR games every single State of Play, right?
Yeah, we got spoiled right off the bat. They're probably just trying to get us out of their hair. But yeah, I'd imagine future ones are probably going to focus more on the games like Days Gone and Concrete Genie and those games that the majority want. The word on the street is people are hating this State of Play. A lot of people who don't have VR, PSVR, they're really upset and they thought it was the worst thing ever. but there wasn't much for them. If you don't have a VR headset, there wasn't really much for you on this announcement. That being said, they're going to have more of these. And what it does is they put all this VR content front and center, and it shows me that Sony is still putting a lot of effort into VR, and that shows me that we're probably going to see some kind of VR upgrade or improvement by the time the PS5 rolls around, which we all know is probably going to get announced, late summer or in the fall of this year.
Yeah. I mean, and actually looking at the games, the latest game that they mentioned and gave a date for was June 18th, meaning that assuming, they have one in July or another update, they're going to have another 6 months of time to tell us this is what's coming out in the fall and winter of 2019. So it actually may be, quite a bit of VR in the future. And I would imagine at some point, definitely, obviously, we don't know when PS5 is coming out, but maybe they didn't focus as much on the flat games because who knows, maybe a lot of the developers are waiting for the PS5 before they actually do their big games. And so there's not much to reveal for flat games. And so that may be one reason why there weren't as many and why so many people were disappointed. But dude, just get VR. That is the problem solver right there.
They keep making it cheaper and cheaper. Just do it. Just get out there and get it. Anyways, Adam, let's quit wasting time. Let's talk about the games coming out. We got a lot of games to talk about that they announced, and I'm just gonna throw them at you, and I want you to tell me how you're feeling about it. All right? Right off the bat, they hit us up with a trailer for Iron Man VR. Now, I like the superhero movies. Adam, I don't think you're a big superhero movie fan, but how did you feel about seeing Iron Man VR?
So you're right. I do not give a crap about DC or Marvel or whoever the F they are. I don't care about super people. But I will say the trailer is pretty cool, and it did say not actual game footage shown. So I know what we saw isn't game footage. You aren't going to be doing that. But the idea of being able to fly around as Iron Man and potentially beat people up, I think a superhero VR game has been warranted for a while. Of course, we had Batman, one of the very early titles. They did have some type of Marvel game that was a total flop and that they failed miserably. Hopefully,
it was a DC game, but okay.
Oh, was okay. Whatever. I don't even know the difference. Did it have Iron Man in it?
No.
Okay, whatever. Either way, I know it flopped. It wasn't good, and so hopefully they do justice for this. I think there's potential for this type of game and for Iron Man just based off who he is and the type of combat that could surround it. So, I mean, I'll definitely play it. I'm not excited out of my mind because I'm not a superhero guy. Who is it? Your favorite superhero is Jasmine or something like that?
How'd you know? Yeah, Jasmine.
Yeah.
From Aladdin, she's a superhero.
I read your diary because it's the only pink thing underneath your mattress. So
why don't you ever ask me about Conrad the Kitten if you read my diary?
Because that one, you only wrote one entry.
Oh. Anyways, Iron Man VR. It's being developed by Camouflage, which the name sounded familiar, and so I just looked them up here. They made a really fun, interesting game for cell phones called Republique. And it was a really pretty game, interesting game design. And they apparently made a VR version of it that I think was only out for, PC or something like that. Either way, it's a company. They're good game designers. They think of fun ways to play games, and they have some VR experience. So I kind of have, decently high hopes for this game. I mean, you can't really go wrong with Iron Man. If they can just make a more polished version of Megaton Rainfall, then I'm going to be there day one trying to play it.
Do you get it, Alex? I said because there was only one entry.
Yeah.
Because you only made one day of Conrad the Kitten's diary.
That's because I'm still living in day 2, baby.
You're so stupid. Okay, the next game is Falcon Age. And this is a game we've known about. Some people are hyped for it. I don't really understand. I mean, I guess just honestly, I'm not that excited for it. I mean, I'm glad some people are. It's just not my type of game. It seems like one of those that's more oh, let's explore and let's have some type of emotional connection with your pet falcon. I'm just not that interested in it. It does look nice, looks polished. This kind of seems more of your type of game, though. So
this game, what does it remind me of? It kind of, for some reason, I get a Zelda vibe from it. Like the gameplay might be like Zelda, although I'm kind of completely guessing there. I thought this game would be kind of fun, and I was kind of interested in it. But then I read that they're making a flat version of it, and that, oddly enough, made me have higher hopes for the game, because that means they're not just relying on VR as a gimmick. They're trying to make the game fun enough for somebody who's not playing it in VR. And then when you do play it in VR, it's going to be even better. So, the animation looks top-notch. The bird looks amazing. This is a game where you have a bird on your hand, and you send them out to attack enemies, and you hit the enemies with a stick, and the bird collects items for you, and you get to pet him, and you make little heart hands with him, and it just looks like a good old jolly old time, and it's really pretty and beautiful, and I'm looking forward to it. And they announced that it comes out April 9th, so we have 2 weeks, 3 weeks until it comes out, so it won't be long before we play this one, Adam. Up next, we have Table of Tales, coming out the 16th of April, so that's also pretty soon. Did this rustle your jimmies in any way, Adam?
So I love the idea of playing board games in VR, because obviously so many of us enjoy the social aspect of it, and that's very much the magic of board games, is the fact that you're actually playing with somebody, and it enhances the experience. This is something that kind of looked like that. I don't know many of the details of the gameplay or what this is about. It kind of looked like a board game. I could be completely wrong, to be honest, but I would be slightly interested. A lot of things, I wouldn't say a lot. First of all, you're going to have to be able to talk to or communicate in some way to the other players for me to be very interested. I don't want to sit and play a game that is some type of strategy game and only not be able to talk to people. If I want to do that, I'd go play chess at the Starbucks down the road, where people just sit there and don't talk and play chess. That sucks. So I think it potentially has something here, but I would honestly put it at definitely maybe the worst or least excited I am about all of the games here. Just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's the least flashy game. And yeah, you're right. It's the least exciting one. But that being said, there's been games where you play on a game board, and for some reason in VR, playing a game on a game board makes it really fun and interesting. It's that level of interaction you have with the move controllers, and you're picking pieces up and moving them around. It makes Dark Eclipse really fun and different from other MOBAs. Even a game like League of War VR Arena, it's really just kind of a stupid, simple game. I just had a good time pulling the cars back like wind-up toys, and just letting them go. If this can tap into some of that magic, but maybe have a little bit of strategic game design behind it, I'll be really interested in it. I don't know if it's going to have multiplayer like what you're hoping for. If it does, that'd be fun. I'd love to, wipe you out in a board game in VR, and like I do in real life. But yeah, it's maybe one of the more underwhelming titles, but I'm still happy it got announced, and I'm still looking forward to it. Developers, if you hear me, send us a code, and I'll give you an 8 out of 10, just like the Vertigo Home. Next on the list, we have Jupiter and Mars. Now, this damn game has been announced 100 times, and they keep saying it's coming out soon. It's produced by James Milky or something like that. He's a guy who worked closely with Tetsuya Mizuguchi on, getting Rez out there for the masses, and he produced some of the Lumines games. So he's really into that Rez vibe, and you can tell looking at this game, it's got a Rez aesthetic. It's some post-apocalyptic game where you're dolphins swimming through trying to find humans or something like that. I don't know. Looks real pretty. It's probably going to be pretty musical. I'm kind of worried that it's going to fall into that trap where they take a lot of stuff from Rez, but they don't take the right things. And so it's obvious that it's trying to be Rez, but it just doesn't quite catch that magic. Adam, do you have room in your heart for a Rez knockoff?
I do, because Rez is so good, even if it doesn't match Rez. It looks like a game where you're on acid, which I love. I love those type of games. I'm not one into music, as I mentioned, but if the visuals and the music are harmoniously synchronized in such a way, I would definitely be all for it. This is a game I'm very interested in. Even at E3 when they announced it, that trailer kind of piqued my interest. And so, yeah, I had no idea this was coming out this soon, April 22nd, so that's awesome. Hopefully that is a hard date. and it won't get pushed back. But yeah, I'm definitely very interested in this game. I would definitely play it. I think it would be interesting. I think you're right. It could go either way. It could definitely be a real good game that we could be praising for months, or it could be, as you mentioned, they try to take the wrong aspects of certain games and it kind of falls flat. Hopefully that's not the case. I didn't realize that guy worked with Tetsuya and Lumines and things, so that gives me more hope. I thought it was just someone who came up with a brand new idea and he was just going for it. But if he has, guidance and learned in the past from obviously 2 very successful games, that gives me more hope for this bad boy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I have no reason to think that he'll do a bad job. The Lumines games he produced had that magic there, so there's no reason he can't, recapture lightning, so to speak. Next on the list,
I'm shining. I can tell you that.
Oh man, don't get me started, man.
Shining.
It's not a toy, Adam. It's not a toy. Up next,
not a toy.
Everybody's Golf VR coming out the 21st of May. Adam, you finally get to see some footage of this. Is this the kind of game you were hoping it is? Is this the kind of game you were hoping it was going to be?
I didn't really get enough to really tell that. I mean, it looked like some of the gameplay footage I'd seen in the very early development stages. So it still has that potential to be one of my favorite VR games just because, man, I love golf. And I still can't believe it's the biggest freaking wonder of my life how there has not been a golf game yet. I mean, what? I don't understand. And you know what's going to happen, Alex? Some indie developer is going to release a game on May 14th, and it's going to be a golf game, and they're just going to try to beat everybody's golf to the punch, and then I don't know what's going to happen. But regardless, I'm very excited for this. I wish it were on May 10th because that's my birthday, and I would love to play this in my birthday suit. Instead, I'm going to be having to wear freaking clothes. Thanks a lot, Sony. But regardless, I'm excited for it. This is definitely a day one purchase for me. Even if I don't fully know the details and the gameplay, it has enough potential. I mean, I loved 100-Foot Robot Golf, for goodness sakes. If I like that, I'm definitely going to like this. So, Alex, we're not going to get codes. We never get codes for Sony games. We're not big enough. They don't love us. Sony America sucks. Something. I don't know what it is. So this is going to be a game I'm going to have to purchase. And the only thing I can hope is that it's not $40 because every game I buy for $40 is a complete and utter disappointment. But regardless, I'm going to have to buy it. So let's just hope. I mean, I'll pay $50. Just don't let it be $40. Something about me and the number 40 just is a big old poopy bucket hole.
So, yeah, the game looked good. The video footage of the game was impressive, and I was happy that it was in first person. It wasn't some kind of like third-person golfing game with VR controls. The downside is I read somewhere that, and I think it was just on Reddit somebody talking, so it might not be true. I read that it doesn't have multiplayer, which seems like a big oversight. But you can still enjoy a golf game. I mean, you could play a golf game asymmetrically, right? You don't have to be playing at the same time as someone else. So a golf game, like leaderboards could really shine in a golf game. So maybe it's going to have that. It's Everybody's Golf. That's a good franchise. It's going to probably feel similar to Mario Golf, which I really like. So who knows what they're going to do with it. They're probably going to make sure it's good, though, because it's kind of a flagship title for them. Speaking of flagship titles, maybe one of the biggest games we're looking forward to is Blood and Truth, the full gamification of London Heist from VR Worlds. Blood and Truth comes out on the 28th of May. We finally have a release date. Adam, you dog on VR Worlds like crazy. Have you gotten around to playing Blood and Truth, or London Heist at least?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely good. I think this game, Blood and Truth, is going to be the real deal. The reason I say that is after looking at gameplay of it, it has a diversity of gameplay. It's not just an experience with you have to push the right buttons at the same time. They've got puzzles in there. They've got stealth. They've got combat. They've got shooting. There's, I'm sure, going to be some type of like jump scare type of things, and you put a plot in there. I love when games mix gameplay up and it's not just a very simple and multi or single faceted gameplay attack. And so that's exactly what this is. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be very good. Surely, I mean, if London Heist was that good and in depth, I think this obviously is going to be just as good, if not better, because more attention and time is going to be put into it, as well as money and resources. So I think this is going to be, of the list, definitely, probably top 2 at least, that you should have on your list and that you should purchase, because I just do not see this being a flop.
Yeah, I know people dog it because I don't think it's like a full locomotion game, like something like Farpoint. I think it's kind of like an on-rails game. There might be a little bit of movement, but it's almost like you hit the button to go forward along a designated path. That being said, I think this game is doing what I hope it does. It's kind of like what London Heist is, and it just makes really good VR set pieces where it's just like, you're doing a shootout, or there's interesting things in front of you to interact with. There's a suitcase, got to open it and give the money to the bad guy and shoot somebody and pick up a cigar and smoke it and then stab somebody in the face. And it all just happens so fast and there's never downtime. Even if the game isn't like a new experience every single time, there's still replayability. It's like watching a really good action movie. Like I watched Bourne Identity like 100 times because I just enjoyed it so much, even though I knew exactly what was going to happen. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Blood and Truth. I'm glad that they took the time. It seems like they took some extra time to really cook it and make sure that it was a really solid experience, and I'm happy they've done that. Another game that got announced, a lot of games got announced. A release date that got announced is Trover Saves the Universe, coming out 31st of May. So they're really just hitting us, every week. There's a gap between April and May, between Jupiter and Mars and everybody's golf. But, aside from that, every week you're getting hit with something good. Trover Saves the Universe, Adam. This looks like a Rick and Morty meets Zelda type adventure game or something like that. Rick and Morty meets Ratchet and Clank, something like that. And I can get behind it. I don't mind these Rick and Morty games. I don't mind these funny games like Accounting Plus. It's just when they don't have fun gameplay to back it up, that's where it gets annoying. But this looks like traditional video game gameplay, which I enjoy. Third-person adventure, something like Moss maybe, which I enjoy. And then I'm not tired of the Rick and Morty, what's his name, Justin Roiland or whatever. I'm not tired of his sense of humor. Doesn't annoy me yet, maybe because I haven't watched Rick and Morty. But how are you feeling about this, Adam? Do you have love in your heart for another Rick and Morty type comedy game?
Yeah, I don't know. I love Rick and Morty, but like Accounting Plus certainly wasn't bad. Something about it just didn't, I don't know. It wasn't a home run. It was maybe a little short, I don't know what it was. A couple things were pretty funny about it, but something was missing. I don't know what it was. I'll certainly be interested in it because, Justin Roiland is funny. I do like that type of comedy, and they talked about this at E3, and this is the second trailer that we've seen, and hopefully, it looks like it could be decent. Mainly, I will play this mainly out of curiosity. I don't really know what to expect. I don't know. I don't want to read too much into the fact that Accounting Plus wasn't great and be like, well, if Accounting Plus wasn't great, why would this? I don't want to think like that. This is the biggest question mark in this list for me personally, but hopefully it's funny. Hopefully there's some actual like gameplay to it, and I'm hoping it's funny. I hope it's good. Is that Memorial Day, May 31st?
Something like that, man. I don't know these things.
Yeah, so I think it is, and then I'll just stay at home all weekend and play Trover Saves the Universe.
Yeah, that's the thing. I want to play all these games that I've seen. At least right now I want to. They all look at least entertaining on a base level to where I enjoy playing the game, which is good. It's better than you can say for a lot of VR games that come out. Next on the list, we have Vacation Simulator, the long-awaited sequel of Job Simulator. So you know what that means. If this game comes out in physical version, buy it fast, buy 100 copies, and then you'll be able to sell it like 3 months down the road for like $150 a pop. This comes out the 18th of June, I guess just in time for summer vacation for all you kids who shouldn't be playing VR because you're too young and you actually have summer vacation with school. Adam, you haven't played Job Simulator. Are you going to play Vacation Simulator?
I want to play Job Simulator. Once it goes on sale again, I'm probably going to buy it.
No, you won't. You don't buy anything, man.
Well, I might do it because I liked Surgeon Simulator. It was a little broken, but I liked it. I think Job Simulator, it's a fun idea, and I think Vacation Simulator is right with that. It probably, assuming they don't try to gouge us. If it's $20, probably be worth it. If it's more than $20, dude, surely it won't be. I hope not, because that's not going to be worth that. This is going to be one of those, is the price is right? Because I think the game will be good. I'm not worried about the quality of the game, but for what you get, the graphics are just like Vacation Simulator. It's more almost to me as a novelty game, which I think we definitely have need for in PSVR. That's perfectly fine. That's not an insult whatsoever. But you also need to understand that if it is kind of just one of those little novelty games, you can't ask $30 for it. Like, that's too much. I probably wouldn't pay $25 for it. $20, it would be like right on the cusp. That's where I personally think that it's going to cost. Less than $20 would probably be a buy. So that one will depend on the price, but I'm definitely interested in it.
All right, up next on the list, we have I didn't give my opinion. Yeah, this game looks good. Job Simulator is one of the best games for PSVR, according to everybody that's played it. That doesn't include me because I haven't played it, even though I own it. Next game on the list, Mini Mech Mayhem, coming out 18th of June. Now, I thought this was going to be like a robo battling game, but I just watched the trailer. And the trailer makes it almost look like a board game, like chess, like a 4-player chess, but you just have one piece and you kind of have to choose what moves he makes or something. And I don't know, man. It looks pretty good. Like, I think I could really enjoy it. The downside is going to be if I don't have buy-in from you to play this game with me, Adam, then I'm not going to enjoy it. I want to get a little cute robot, and I want to make him look how I want, and I want to watch him destroy your robot and kick your robot in the dirt and send your robot to robot hell.
Well, good luck there, buddy, because my robot's the best around. I'm the best around. Nobody ever gonna take me down. Nah, this is a somewhat... I looked at this game a while ago. I contacted them to see if we could cover it, and then I realized, it's a long time away, so we're not going to hear back, in which we didn't. But
didn't.
I don't know. I might be interested in it. It's this and Table of Tales are probably the lowest on the list of all the games we've discussed, just because I feel like it's not going to utilize VR as much as some of the other games, which obviously I very much like the VR aspect of it. And, I mean, if I have to play and talk with you more, F that.
Thanks a lot, Adam. I thought we were finally becoming friends. No. Next on the list, Adam.
No.
Next on the list, we have Five Nights at Freddy's VR. They just said it's coming out soon. I hope it's sooner than soon because this game looks pretty terrifying. I haven't played the games. Have you played the games on the cell phone, Adam?
I've seen them, and then I'm like, it's a cell phone game. It can't be that scary, so I have not.
So I haven't played it. My cousins were really obsessed with it. My dad played it, and he said the cell phone game was actually pretty spooky. So it's almost like a corrupt, demented version of Chuck E. Cheese, and you're stuck inside of it. And, the trailer, if you haven't seen the trailer of it, it looks proper scary. I mean, the robots, the animatronics, they're pretty scary. And put that in VR with some really good shadows. And I'm sure this has high production values because these guys have made a ton of money. So we don't have a release date for it. We knew this game was coming out. I just hope it's good. I hope the gameplay is there to back up what looks like a graphically impressive and a pretty scary experience. Are you still into scary games, Adam? I feel like I haven't heard one from you in a while. Do you still like scary games?
That's the thing. They haven't freaking come out. I do like scary games. And here's the issue. For you, Pansy, your dad, I think, is a grade A pussball. So I don't trust what he says at all. Now, what I do trust is the fact that a good use of, as you mentioned, shadows and darkness, jump scares along with suspense can create a very scary game. Here is where, however, I kind of deviate from what you mentioned, and the fact that the reason Resident Evil 7 is scary, the reason that Home Sweet Home is scary, the reason that Paper Dolls in some aspects are scary is the fact that you are first person, and what is around you is very realistic. Like, it looks real. You can be in the basement or in the cellar of a, it's flooded and you have to swim your way to the other side of the house. Or you may be in what looks like a schoolhouse and there's some type of freaking crazy person hunting you down. Or you may have to very stealthily get behind or hide from someone who's coming after you. In Five Nights at Freddy, it looks like it very much is obvious that it's not realistic. It's not a environment in which you personally would find yourself in, because you're facing a robotic teddy bear, or I mean that makes it sound like total wimpy. Just a bear. We'll say robotic bear. So although it looks very good, and I do think that they definitely can still make it kind of scary, I don't think it's going to be one of those games that is the scariest. I just don't think it can, because of the limitation of the fact that it's not going to be a scenario in which you yourself could visualize you being in, which really amps up the fright factor. So I am excited for this. Intruders Hide and Seek was the last kind of scary game we had, but at that it wasn't really scary. It was more suspense. They could have made it scarier than it was, but they didn't. And so I'm ready for a scary game. So I hope you're right. I hope soon is like maybe early April. Maybe they could put it between that Jupiter and Mars and Everybody's Golf VR, that month where we don't have like a quote unquote big release. Hopefully they can put it in there. That would be awesome. Either way, I'm definitely going to play this. I'm not going to play if you are interested, don't play the cell phone game, because a lot of them are the same puzzles. They're added puzzles as well. But if you play the cell phone game, it's going to ruin it in VR, because you'll already know what, I guess, some of the puzzles are, or where some of the jump scares and things are going to be. So do limited research when you're looking at this game before you play it in VR.
Yeah, I don't have much to say. It looks scary. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not, bears,
well,
animatronic
you freaking
bears.
thought Megaton Rainfall was scary.
Okay, it's a different kind of fear, man. It's a fear for my soul.
You thought Moss was scary.
I didn't think Moss was scary. I thought Moss was charming. Anyways, speaking of
the reason Alex won't talk about Job Simulator is because he thought that was scary.
Don't put me on blast like that, man. I got
just
gain
like
respect.
your dad. You're a big puss ball.
Oh, puss ball. Anyways, we got one more game to talk about, Adam. It's a game I did not think was going to happen. I did not think it was going to come out. People said it was going to happen, and it was always like, yeah, that'd be really cool. But, if it happens, it's definitely not going to happen for the PSVR. It'd just be too technically taxing. There's no way it's going to happen. Bam, right out of the gate. No Man's Sky VR. So, Adam, I don't know if you know the history about No Man's Sky. It's this game that got hyped to incredible proportions. It was all about exploration. You can fly to one of millions of planets in this universe that is randomly generated, and it's like shared. Like other people, I explore some planet, I can tell you where the planet is. You go to it. People were excited about exploring the universe together, finding each other, and then it didn't live up to the promise. A lot of stuff that the developers seemed to promise, it didn't come to fruition. People got really mad, and the developers got a lot of hate, and then they just kind of hid for a little while, and in hiding, they just plugged away at this game, and they released an update. And when the update came out, I bought it. The game was awesome. It had multiplayer. There was awesome starship fighting, but it wasn't in VR. And the whole time I was playing it, I was like, man, this is really fun, but I got VR games to play, man. I can't be wasting my time with a flat game. Bam! They're coming out with an update very soon, sometime this summer. It's coming out. It's adding a ton of stuff to the game just in general, but they're also adding a VR component, and it's also coming to the PSVR. That means I can fly around and dogfight in my spaceship and shoot these bad guys with these laser guns and find new planets in outer space. And my imagination is the only limit that there is, and I can do it all with you, Adam. And we're going to fly through the stars together. We're going to have two characters, and we're going to hang out together all the time, and we're not going to be lonely anymore.
So this is the one game I was waiting for us to discuss, because I saw it and I was like, okay, but you lost your freaking mind. So I guess I've never heard of this game, or I think maybe I've heard of it, but I don't know anything. I don't understand why you think it's such a big deal.
So So the promise of the game was just, are you not intrigued at the idea of like a limitless space exploration game where you can fly out, you look up in the sky, you see a star, you can fly to that star, and you can land on a planet that is orbiting that star, and you can walk around on that planet, and you can blow up the planet, you can dig it up and get minerals, you can find randomly generated aliens that nobody else in the world has ever seen, you find new plants and stuff like that, you buy new parts for your spaceship and build a spaceship and go flying out, and you see other spaceships and you shoot them and you get in a dogfight and you got to run away before they kill you. It's just like the universe is your oyster, man. It
sounds boring. It's like a game with no purpose.
There's a purpose. I mean,
it obviously has a purpose, but there's no driving force. I don't know.
There is a story behind it. It's a single player story. And it's something about trying to fly to the center of the universe to figure out what the origin of the universe is. I've heard people say, I've heard opinions ranging from it's a stupid story to it's one of the best stories in video games. You just kind of have to buy into it. That was before any of the updates came out. Also, this is all a multiplayer. It's just, I'm so excited. I hope it runs as well as the trailer looked. I hope that trailer was PSVR footage and not just Oculus or Vive footage. I'm getting myself so hyped for this game. Here's the thing. When I was watching it, the thing going through my head was like, I don't need to buy another VR game. If this comes out and it's what I think it is, I don't need to get another VR game. This is it. This is what I want in VR. I want to be able to fly from planet to planet with nobody stopping me. And yeah, man, I'm pumped.
See, that is also another thing I love, because I remember the day, I don't know, it was – that was a little ways ago, and you were like, hey, there's a little game. There's a little game named Wipeout. You should go get it because it's VR mode. And I was like, okay, whatever. I guess I'll go get it. Went to GameStop, got it for $18 doll hairs. Holy crap, what a beast of a game it was. And so right now, this is what I'm going to do, Alex. I'm going to go to GameStop or the nearest store, and I'm going to – does it matter? Can I just if it says No Man's Sky, I can buy that, and when this patch comes out, I can update it.
Yeah, all these updates are free. That is it, man. It's like $5 at GameStop. You can get it for $5.
Are you serious?
Something ridiculous like that. It'll be like $5 or $10. It's ridiculous.
How old is this game?
It's been out for like a year and a half now, something like that.
Well, that's buggy, baby. See, That's why, first of all, I love that. That is good value right there. That is something, screw you, VR Grid. That is something I will buy. $5. That's what I'm talking about. Bonafide game, $5.
The only time Adam's going to spend $5 on a game is when it's like it literally is as big as the universe and has as much content to match. That's when Adam will spend $5 on a game.
That's the bar.
That's the bar.
So I remember also in the past when you told me, because I had never played Skyrim, and you said you don't understand the enormity of this game and what it entails. Is this, which is more impressive content-wise? Is No Man's Sky even larger than Skyrim and limitless as Skyrim?
Yeah, No Man's Sky is larger and more limitless. Skyrim was a last generation game. This is a game built for this generation. Also, it's like there was stuff to do in Skyrim, but I didn't want to do any of it. I didn't want to make new armor. I didn't want to learn how to talk to people better. I just wanted to fight guys.
Pickpocket. I never pickpocketed people.
Yeah.
I feel you.
I didn't want to do that crap. But here, the little bit that I've played in No Man's Sky, I was skeptical of it. I thought it was going to be boring. But I bought it on PC when it was the last update came out, and it was like $20. And I was having a good time with it. The only reason I stopped playing it was because I had other games that I needed to play. Now that this is going to be in VR, it's what I need to be playing, man. And you got a gun, and you shoot robots, and they try to kill you. And you shoot aliens, randomly generated aliens that try to kill you. You try to find new minerals to build a new part for your airplane and get ancient technology. It's kind of like a make your own adventure sometimes, but the stuff is there for almost any adventure to be fun. And then you can play multiplayer. It's just going to be so cool, man. It's going to be so cool. Just fly among the stars with me, Adam. Join me in the stars.
For $5, I will join you for the stars. How about that?
Thank you, Adam. Thank you.
So I guess I'm excited for this. I don't know what to think. I'm cautiously optimistic, put it that way. I saw the trailer and I was like, Okay. I was more excited that there was another VR game. I didn't even care about the game. And then, like I said, you kind of lost your mind. And I was like, well, I guess hopefully it's a good game. And so we'll see here very shortly. But so of these games, Alex, quickly here, because we are running out of time, which one are you most excited for?
I mean, it's obviously No Man's Sky. Nothing else. I'm looking at this list, and it's like, man, all these games look really fun. No Man's Sky is just next level, man. It's next level. Oh, we forgot one. I think I described it as paint crap the game. And I said, I don't care about it unless it's in VR. And then they announced at the end that it's got a VR
right.
mode.
Yeah, Concrete.
Concrete Genie.
That's it.
But
that is hilarious. We were watching the whole thing, and we were both like, dude, STFU, it's so long. And then at the very end, they're like, available in virtual reality. And we're like, whoa, let's go.
I love it. It's the best game ever.
Dude, that looked like a very interesting concept.
Yeah, it looked interesting. I'm tempering my expectation because they just said there's like a VR mode, which could, as far as we know, just be like painting on a canvas and that's it. But a lot of people were excited about this that weren't excited about VR stuff. So there might be something there that I don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, when I watched the trailer, literally what my thought was, well, this looks like it's gonna suck, but I kind of appreciate what they're doing because it's not a cookie cutter first person shooter, or it's not a game like Call of Duty where we've seen it before. They're trying something different. And literally what my mind went to was Stifled. And I was like, well, Stifled did something different. It could have been a flop, and it ended up being awesome. So touche to them. And that was, of course, before I thought it was VR. Then I heard it was VR, and so now I don't even know what to think. So I would definitely give that game a try. I just feel like it doesn't look that fun. But again, they're trying something different, and I want to applaud that and at least give it a shot because of that fact alone.
Yeah, so flipping the question, Adam, which game are you most excited about?
It's got to be Everybody's Golf. I think I mentioned that as my most anticipated title of the year back in January, and that still holds true. I don't know, are there golf games that are multiplayer?
So Hot Shots Golf, which is Everybody's Golf, it's the same thing. Those were traditionally multiplayer. Like you would take turns like on PlayStation or something and just pass
like
the controller.
Online?
Yeah, you play online too, I think. I don't know if Mario Party was or Mario Golf was online, but it very easily could have been. So the thing is, it's just golf. You have to wait around, right? It'd be fun if you could all play at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I wonder. If everyone could play at the same time and say, obviously get it in a hole before you because you're going to suck and I'm awesome, then I'll have to wait for you before moving on to the next hole. But not like – I remember in even like Wii Golf, I made a shot and then I had to wait for you to make a shot before I could shoot again. If they could get rid of that, that would be awesome. But, I mean, if it doesn't have multiplayer, that would, to me, put it like next level, like potentially game of the year conversation. Without it, I still think it could be a very, very good game. So that doesn't crush my enthusiasm for it. However, that would be awesome. But of these, I think Blood and Truth is going to be very good. That's probably my just because you're so excited, I'd say No Man's Sky is probably my second, and then Blood and Truth. If I had to put them in order.
I just have to say, every time I get excited about a game, Adam, and I convince you to get it, you end up hating it. However, I mean, we can go get No Man's Sky for $5 now, so maybe that will help save me from your wrath this last time.
And I will say that game has something that seems interesting to me. A lot of the games you tell me to buy just straight up freaking suck. Like, I knew right off the bat Vertigo Home was going to be bad. I knew it was going to be bad. It looks bad. It's a bad concept. It's a boring concept. It looks like trash. I knew it was going to be bad. So this actually looks like it could be quality. So, you have a chance to redeem yourself. And you're going to have a chance to redeem yourself on the next segment because we're going back to our PSVR March Madness bracket. And last week you got made look the fool because you tried to defy Stifled, and it's going to go all the way, baby. It's my sleeper pick. And so next segment, I'll just ask you what your sleeper is before we start covering it next segment, because you don't even know. Your head's spinning. You don't know what to do. We got some more fun for you next segment, guys. Stick with us. We're going to cover our PSVR March Madness bracket, as well as maybe a couple other little things. But we appreciate you sticking with us. We'll talk to you then. All right, welcome back to Play PSVR, the podcast. This is our third segment, and we are going back into it with our PSVR March Madness. So we have our Sweet 16 here, and we are going to peg and knock these puppies out until we get to the Final Four. But first, Alex, how about you tell the listeners here, we tried to make a little bit of randomness because obviously we didn't want Resident Evil 7 just easily making it through the entire way, because I think everyone will agree that really is probably the best game left. But that's not how March Madness works, folks. That's not how it works. How does it work, Alex?
Yeah, one of the beauties of March Madness is that you have these, no-hopers, these completely garbage trash teams like, say, Louisville. And they end up beating like a really, really good, great, perfect team like University of Kentucky or something like that. And so we wanted to simulate that by adding a little bit of probability here. So what we're going to do is Adam and I each have 25 points to dole out. And if we both agree on a game, we can both each give them 25 points, but there's a total of 60 possible points. Then we're going to roll the dice. So that's if Adam and I agree on a game as the winner, we're going to roll the dice, and there's a 1 in 6 chance that that game is still going to lose. We got 8 possible matchups right now, and then we're going to go through it again. Out of 8 matchups, there ought to be one upset, assuming Adam and I agree on every single one. So I like this. I hope Adam likes this, and hopefully it adds a little bit of spice. I would love to see something like Salaryman Escape make it all the way to the end by virtue of just stupid, dumb luck. Stranger things have happened, and here's to strange things.
I've looked. So I've been looking across the web on Little Star and just straight up on the internet, and I have yet to find a bigger dick than you.
I know. I have a really big one. I don't know how you ever saw it though, Adam. I haven't sent you that picture, but yeah, you probably won't find a bigger one. Yeah.
My mom sent it to me and looked like a tater tot.
Looked like a tater, like a waterlogged tater tot. All right.
Waterlogged tater tot. Okay, so let's start with our P region. If you remember last week, we had the regions P, S, V, and R. So in the P region, our teams are Space Pirate Trainer, Monsters of the Deep. They are going to face off. And then we will have Skyrim and Thumper. So for this round, let's just take these one by one. So Space Pirate Trainer and Monster of the Deep. So I didn't play Space Pirate Trainer. For me, it's a wave shooter. That's not a good start. I gotta think here a little more. What are you thinking, Alex? Which one would you give your 25 points to?
Monster. I haven't played Monster of the Deep, but Monster of the Deep is a fishing game. And in a fishing game, you stay mostly in the same location. You might say that you're moving, but you're not really moving. And especially in Monster of the Deep, instead of catching the fish with a rod and reel, you're mostly shooting them. So one might think that you are stationary and shooting a wave after wave of fish.
Dude,
in that sense, Monster of the Deep then becomes...
that's wrong.
Monster of the Deep then becomes a wave shooter.
It's not
and we already have a champion of the wave shooter. It's called Space Pirate Trainer.
You're lying. You don't even know the game.
No, here's the deal. I don't care about fishing. I don't care about Final Fantasy. I'm married. I don't care about Cindy Aram. What I do care about is Space Pirate Trainer being a fun-ass time and really setting the bar for wave shooters, and it is our champion of wave shooters. So that's why I want to give it I'm going to give Space Pirate Trainer my 25 points. I don't care what you say, Adam. I don't care.
Well, here's my thing. First of all, you're an idiot because only the single-player campaign has anything to do with actually shooting fish, and that's only when you hit bosses.
Is there multiplayer in it? Is there somehow multiplayer in this fishing game, Adam?
Other than leaderboards and tournaments, there is not multiplayer in which you see someone else. No.
So why are you talking about a single player campaign?
Because there's a campaign, which is, I guess I could just say campaign rather than
Okay.
player.
I was confused.
Yeah, F you. There's a campaign, and then there is a straight up you enter tournaments, and you have challenges, and this all rakes up points, and it's going to get me another platinum in like 15 years. It's going to be great. I can find so many wave shooters. I'm going Monster of the Deep, which this is great because right off the bat,
It's easy. It's an easy fix, Adam. All right, 25 points from me, 25 points from you. It's going to be 50-50. How about I take 1 through 3, you take 4 through 6. That sound good?
I'll say 50-50 because wasn't there an initial 10% random chance?
That only matters if we agree on one. So it's 50-50. We're going to roll the dice and see. Does that sound good?
We're making up the rules, folks.
We're doing it live, man. We're doing it live. So I'm going to take 1
I don't
through 3.
trust you one effing bit. You're rolling the die, and I don't trust you. Space Pirate Trainer wins. I'm going to be
Here we go. I don't know if I'm going to share my screen with you. Ignore the pornography on my screen, Adam. I'm going to share my screen so you can trust me. You see what's happening right here. I'm going to click right here. I went to Google, typed in dice roller. I'm going to click roll again, and we're going to see what this number is. If it's 1, 2, or 3, I win. Ready, set, 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh, I like this. This is good. 2 FU.
A 2. Space Pirate Trainer, baby.
You cheater.
In reality, Adam, I would probably end up platinuming them. I'm going to platinum Space Pirate Trainer, and I don't think you're going to worry about platinuming Monster of the Deep. I appreciate Monster of the Deep. It looks like a fun game. But I think Space Pirate Trainer is just something that we all want in VR, and we're all getting it. We want to be in space, and we want to shoot a bunch of stuff with a bunch of different guns. I think if you actually played Space Pirate Trainer, you would agree with me.
This is great. I'm glad there's no space games. I'm glad there isn't anything called Farpoint or Detached or any of the other million space games like
Or Downward Spiral or Apollo 11.
Exactly.
Or Space Junkies. Or
okay, let's move on. Skyrim versus Thumper. This is rounding out Region P. I really like Thumper. Mm-hmm. And, we had a segment for a while in which I had a new thing that I disliked about Skyrim every week. So, I'm definitely not a Skyrim homer, but, there's just so much content there. There's so much different combat if you want to play with bow and arrow, or if you want to be more physical with a shield and a sword, or 2 swords, or magic. There's almost unlimited amount of things to do. I'm going to have to give it to Skyrim, although Thumper, it's a good game. It's a good game.
Yeah, Thumper's a great game. It's a great, great game for the PSVR. The reason I'm also going to vote for Skyrim is because I thought about it, and it's like, if I had PSVR and I only had one of these 2 games, if I only had Thumper, I would be like, what's the point of PSVR? And if I only had Skyrim, I'd be like, yeah, I get it. I understand how this works. For that reason, I'm going to also go with Skyrim. So, Adam, here we go. This is where our probabilities are going to work out. We both agree Skyrim is the winner here. And so if it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, Skyrim wins. And I'm going to roll the dice. If it's a 6, Thumper moves on to the next round. And, here's to dumb luck. Ready, set, we're going to roll. It's a 5. Skyrim wins. Skyrim wins.
The rim.
It was a close race. It was a very tight race. But
it was a rim job. All right. Region S. Football Nation versus Werewolves Within. This is a very unlikely Sweet 16 matchup. And golly, here's the issue with this. Football Nation is much more of an action-oriented game in which you're playing soccer and you could play online multiplayer. The controls are really weird with the motion controllers, but, doable. Werewolves Within is really fun, but it solely relies on a community online to play with, which if that doesn't exist, the game is simply unplayable. Oh, I got to take that into effect. The fact that the community has to be there to play.
Is that not true with Football Nation? I thought the whole purpose of Football Nation was online multiplayer soccer.
But they also have bots if there aren't any people online.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And I will say there's probably nobody online playing that game right now.
Very well could be, but at least I could still play it. Whereas Werewolves Within, I'd be sitting there touching my tater tot all by myself until someone showed up, which only God knows when that would be.
My point is, I'm looking at the situation of the games today. Football Nation has no multiplayer, most likely. Werewolves Within has a dedicated multiplayer fan base. And so for that reason, I would think Werewolves Within would be the winner here.
Well, I'm going to have to go against you because not only is Football Nation more action, but I'm almost certain that unless you go – I think there's one day a week where there's a community that goes and plays Werewolves Within. That's probably died by now. I don't trust it, and that game is literally useless. You cannot play it unless other people are there. It's Football Nation for me. So it looks like we're doing a 50-50 split.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like even if Football Nation had a full roster of multiplayer components going on or people playing multiplayer, it still wouldn't be as fun as Werewolves Within if Werewolves Within had a jam-packed multiplayer. For that reason, I'm going to pick Werewolves Within. Here we go, Adam. What 3 numbers do you want?
I want 1, 3, and 6.
1, 3, and 6. And here we go. We're going to roll. Ready, set.
Football Nation.
It's a 1. Football Nation progresses.
That's right.
And I'm very disappointed because I really hate soccer. It is the game of fools. It's it's people who wish they were athletes. They just like run around instead. They don't really have the coordination they need. Anyways, moving on. We have next round Beat Saber versus Chromagun. Now this is a good matchup. This is a really good matchup. What are you thinking, Adam? I know you're a fan of both games. What are your opinions here?
Dude, this hurts my heart. I like both games very much. Beat Saber has the worst DLC known to man. Chromagun doesn't have any DLC. Beat Saber is absolutely just incredible. The music is awesome. The tracking spot on. Is it a perfect game? No. But it's a game that brought so many people to PSVR because it is so intriguing. It's so addictive. It's so fun. Chromagun, I loved. Tied for my favorite puzzle game. Oh, gosh. This is absolute. I mean, this just sucks. This was the matchup I was dreading the most just because I'm so torn. I'm going to have to give it to Beat Saber, but it's like a part of me is hoping that the odds go against and Chromagun wins. But really, Beat Saber is the better game. I think it is superior, and so I'm going to vote for it. But either way, I'm going to be happy and I'm going to be sad. So I'm going Beat Saber.
I think that was very eloquent of you, Adam. I brought a tear to my eye watching you. What's it called? Watching you make Sophie's choice here, trying to decide which one of your children to kill.
You're probably mashing your taters over there, you sicko.
Mashing my taters. I appreciate Beat Saber and what it's done for the VR community. I understand why everybody loves it. I don't hate Beat Saber. I just don't think it's as great as everybody says it is, but that might just be a me thing.
It definitely is a you thing.
Chromagun, on the other hand, is a game. It's like a light version of Portal. It has aim support, which is great. But Chromagun, when you finish it, there's no reason to go back. You've solved all the puzzles. It's a fantastic ride while you're on it. But when you're done, you're done. Beat Saber, however, it beckons people to come back. They add DLC, and it is a more complete experience, it seems. On top of all that, Chromagun could completely get by being a flat game, but Beat Saber, it necessitates VR. So this choice is more difficult than I want it to be. However, I'm looking at my opinion here. I like Chromagun more than I like Beat Saber. You set me down right now. I haven't touched either one of these games, but I know what they're like. I'm going to pick Chromagun over Beat Saber, and so I'm picking Chromagun. Adam, you're picking Beat Saber. What 3 numbers do you want this time?
Gosh, I don't know what your problem is. I don't even like music, and I like Beat Saber. You're like...
I'm fat, man. I get tired and I get winded. I start breathing heavy and I start sweating when I play Beat Saber. Chromagun, the worst thing that happens is I might sport a little chub.
Little and chub is right. I will take 1, 2, and 6.
1, 2, and 6. If 1, 2, and 6 land, we get Beat Saber. Here we go. 3. Chromagun moves on to the next round. Beat Saber.
Beat Saber, I tried.
We hardly knew ye, baby. We hardly knew ye. All right, into the V zone. I want you to take me down to your V region, if you know what I mean. Talk about the Venus region. We had the Mage's Tale versus Stifled. What do you think, Adam?
Well, this is maybe the easiest of the picks on this entire. It actually really was. It is the easiest pick of this entire Sweet 16 matchups here. I would rather I'm going to be honest, I haven't finished the Mage's Tale yet, but to replay what I've played thus far, I would rather suck a turd out of a frog's anus. Stifled, I would gladly play again. Mage's Tale obviously has some great things going for it, but the originality, the execution, the added bonuses of it being actually suspenseful and a little scary, and actually, I mean, it's not the greatest plot in the world, but at least they put some originality to it in Stifled. I'm going Stifled all the way, without a doubt. And if you don't, I'm going to suck on your gizzard till you toss your taters.
As much as I'd like you to do that, Adam, because it sounds very good. You know, I haven't played Stifled.
Because you're stupid?
Because I'm stupid. And I have played Mage's Tale. So I'm going to take your word for it on this one, Adam. I'm going to assume that Stifled is a better version of Blind. And Blind is a game that I really enjoyed. I had good things to say about it, and I thought it was a creative experience. And I know Stifled came along first, and it had those inventive mechanics first. So I'm giving Stifled credit there, as it's like a better version of Blind. The Mage's Tale, I completed it, and I give it a hard time, but I had fun playing it when I did. Towards the end, things kind of got better. It's almost like they designed the game backwards. But in the end, Mage's Tale feels just like – it just feels video gamey. And kind of counter to what I said last segment, you know, Mage's Tale feels like almost like it just feels very video gamey. Yeah, you can move your hands around, but that's not important. It just feels video gamey. It doesn't feel very VR-ish. However, Stifled, you know, the whole blindness is a really novel thing for them to do in a game that requires VR and for you to see around you. So for that reason, I'm also going to throw my points behind Stifled, which means if we get 1 through 5, Stifled wins. If we get a 6, Mage's Tale wins.
I swear, if you want me to rage quit, roll a 6. I effing dare you.
I can't wait to see what happens, man. I'd love for Mage's Tale to just for the drama. I'd love for Mage's Tale to win, just to knock Stifled out based off. Anyways, here we go. We're gonna roll. Ready, set. It's a 2.
Thank gosh. Oh my! I really was like, am I gonna rage quit right now?
I would carry on the podcast.
I guess I'm gonna do it.
I would carry the segment you rage quit, and then we'd probably get the best ratings we've ever had with you rage quitting in the middle.
Suck on that. So next we got Ultra Wings versus Star Trek Bridge Crew. I'm going to be honest, I haven't played either of these. I know you like Ultra Wings. I'm not a Star Trek fan, although I've heard wonderful things. Obviously, we love PSVR because there is a very bountiful social aspect to it, in which Star Trek Bridge Crew is in the forefront from what I've heard, and it's a ton of fun. Dude, honestly, I don't even feel like I should pick. Like, I honestly don't know enough about these to even guess, you know? So
you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to throw the points somewhere, man. I want you to throw the points somewhere before I give you my choice.
Dude, I mean, I just don't think it's fair. I just
do it. Just be a man. Suck it up and do it.
Okay. Will you tell me what's the purpose of Star Trek Bridge Crew?
But one of the things in Star Trek, it's really interesting. It's a cool sci-fi series because you're presented with difficult choices. How are you going to, manage a certain encounter? It's not like Star Wars where you're shooting lasers and fighting with lightsabers and stuff. It's all about almost, socio-political stuff going on. You have these enemies that appear in front of you. How are you going to deal with this? How are you going to strategize? Should you shoot first and ask questions later? Or should you try to think of some clever way to communicate and avoid this predicament and maybe outsmart the enemy? That's the kind of stuff you're presented with Star Trek Bridge Crew. I think that is really interesting and novel to have in a video game. However, Ultra Wings, it's just, you really feel like you're flying an airplane. And it's just something that when you start playing it, you want to go out and fly an airplane, and you realize you're never going to be able to fly an airplane in your life because you're too broke. You can't afford your own airplane. You're never going to be able to afford your own airplane. And you say you want to buy an airplane, your wife laughs at you, and you're just sitting there on the couch in your living room covered in pizza sauce, and your wife's laughing saying, you're never going to get an airplane. You're never going to be a pilot. And all you've ever wanted to be is a pilot. All you've ever wanted to do is fly an airplane. You put the VR headset on. Guess what, man? You can't hear your wife making fun of you for not having an airplane. You have an airplane. You have many airplanes. You have an ultra glider. Man, I could be Captain Kirk, but I know I'm not Captain Kirk because I need multiplayer to play Star Trek Bridge Crew. I don't need IBM Watson talking to my ear. I need multiplayer. And if there's no multiplayer, I can't play it. But with Ultra Wings, I can play by myself. I can tune out all the naysayers telling me I'm never going to own an airplane. Here I am, owning an airplane, owning a stunt plane, owning an Ultra Glider and Ultra Wings, and I'm flying through the volcano. I'm flying under the Greek statue, looking up his skirt as I fly under, and it's a wonderful experience. For that reason, I give my points to Ultra Wings. Adam, where are you throwing your points, man?
So I have an important question. Can I have ulterior motives for who I vote for that isn't straight, I think this is a better game?
You can do whatever you want with your points, Adam. This is a free country.
All right. Then here's my thing. I'm going to vote for Star Trek Bridge Crew because this is why. I think Stifled's better than both those games. And I think it's going to be harder to convince you that Stifled's better than Ultra Wings. I don't think it's going to be too horribly difficult to argue that Stifled is better than Star Trek Bridge Crew, which would then have you vote for Stifled over Star Trek, which would give Stifled a better chance to go into Final Four. Ultra Wings, it would be a 50-50 shot. So I'm voting for Star Trek Bridge Crew solely on that fact. Ultra Wings, I'm glad that they have a port of Pilot Wings. They did it better than they did Paperboy for special delivery, so I applaud them for that. But I got Pirate Flight. That thing, I'm downloading like the 18th patch for that thing. So come at me. I got Pirate Flight.
It's not the same game at all, but I understand. So what numbers are you going to pick, Adam?
Give me 4, 5, and 6.
4, 5, and 6. And if we get these, I hate you, Adam. Ready, set, roll. 3.
Oh, gosh.
Ultra Wings moves on.
Bob Saget.
I cannot wait to argue with you about this. All right. Taking me down to the R-erogenous zone. Zone R, where we have In Death versus Borderlands 2. Now, as the expert of PlayStation VR on this podcast, I have played both In Death and Borderlands 2. And while In Death was beautiful, and I really enjoyed the move implementation, and it was really fun to shoot a crossbow, and I'm a fan of roguelikes, and the game's kind of scary, there's enough action, the controls work out surprisingly fluid, you can use a crossbow, you can use bow and arrow, there's all sorts of cool stuff going on. Borderlands 2 has the quantity of content that we rarely see in VR. And they threw in aim support, which took it to the next level, baby. So with aim support and a wealth of content and me putting aside the headaches I get every time I play the game, I'm going to pick Borderlands 2. How about you, Adam?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, In Death is a good game, but it doesn't have the length. It doesn't have the replayability. It doesn't have the repetitiveness. There it is. That Borderlands 2 has. No aims. It's got to be Borderlands 2. Let's do it.
All right. If there's a 6, then In Death moves forward. Anything else is Borderlands 2. Ready, set. 3. All right. Borderlands 2. Putting up the numbers.
All right. So our last matchup of the Sweet 16 is Salaryman Escape and Resident Evil 7. I mean, I'm just going to save it to time. It's Resident Evil 7.
We're both going to say Resident Evil 7. I'll expound upon Salaryman Escape if it wins. If we get a 6, Salaryman Escape goes forward. And I kind of hope it's going to be a 6. Ready, set, Oh, it was a 5. You want to roll again? Let's roll again and see what happens.
Now this is going to skew it
Okay,
all.
there we go. Yeah, it's still Resident Evil 7. Okay, I love Sally Rain Escape. Makes me feel certain ways. Resident Evil 7 makes me feel more certain ways. It's just a really great classic of the genre, and I feel like we have nothing now in the way from preventing Resident Evil 7 from winning. All right, Adam.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
As in tradition of March Madness, they do the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 on the second weekend. So we're going to follow suit. We're going to do one more round here, get to the Final Four, and then next week we're going to figure out who's going to be the winner chicken dinner. So back up to the P region. This is the winner of the P region, Space Pirate Trainer versus Skyrim. So right off the bat, I'm going Skyrim all the way. It's lengthier, more combat diversity, more things to do. It's not a wave shooter. It just has a lot going for it. FU Space Pirate Trainer. You should have got knocked out in the round of 32, but somehow you survived. Alex is wrong. You suck.
I want Space Pirate Trainer to win here, but I can't in good conscience vote for Space Pirate Trainer. I've spent more time in Space Pirate Trainer than I've spent in Skyrim. So that kind of tells me something that maybe to some degree, Space Pirate Trainer is a better game. Skyrim is not as compelling to me as it is to be ducking and dodging and moving all over the place and being an actual space pirate and honing my skills. But I have to admit what Skyrim presents is something novel. If I hadn't played 100 games, Fallout, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Elder Scrolls Oblivion, if I hadn't played all these games, Skyrim would have blown my nips off, to say it in the parlance of Adam. But I have played those games. However, I have to say Skyrim is better. It's worth the money. If $10 for either one, I'm going to pick Skyrim. So here we go. If we get a 6, Space Pirate Trainer progresses.
I just want to say that probably if it were Butt Pirate Trainer, you'd be all about it.
That's a good joke, Adam. I would love Butt Pirate Trainer because girls have butts, you idiot. All right, Skyrim wins.
Okay, the S region finale is Football Nation versus Chromagun. I mean, let's just roll.
I am impressed that Football Nation made it this far, but let's roll. If it's a 6, Football Nation progresses.
A 6. Holy crap, I hope it goes
Oh, hey. So far we've had no upset. So what is I'm glad we came up with this at least so we could, decide between you and I which game goes forward.
I mean, I'm starting to wonder if your random dice generator isn't random at all.
We haven't seen a single 6, have we? Yeah, I mean, maybe Google doesn't know how to do a random dice generator, but I'm trusting them with a lot here. Yeah. All right. In your V-Zone, Adam, I'm going to get all up in your V-Zone, face first in your V-Zone to talk about Stifled versus Ultra Wings, the discussion you didn't want to have, but now we're going to have it. Adam, Ultra Wings is one of the reasons to own VR. We got Resident Evil 7, we got Wipeout, and we have Ultra Wings. That's the echelon I'm putting it in. The only reason I didn't give Ultra Wings a higher score is because the developers told me they'd give me money back if I bought the game, and they'd, give me some money back on PayPal, and then they didn't, and they stiffed me on it. And I wasn't even mad about it, man, because Ultra Wings is so good, I was happy to spend the money on it. But I felt like I can't give them a full. I don't even know, man. I'm giving up my integrity here, but I was just pissed off at the developers for that. Stifled, it looks like a game. It could be great, but when you're done, you're done. But you're never done with Ultra Wings. You're flying around. You're shooting a gun. Did you know, Adam, that when you fly around on Ultra Wings, you can use your flight stick with one hand and shoot balloons with a gun with the other move controller? Ultra Wings has done that.
How riveting. Or you can shoot enemies in Ace Combat. I don't want to hear about shooting balloons.
You shoot with a pistol. It's freaking awesome. It is an awesome experience. You can fly up to the top of a volcano and then go down as fast as you want on the other side of it and then do loop-de-loops and stuff. It is awesome. Nothing has blown my mind the way Ultra Wings has blown my mind in VR, except for maybe Area X. I'm not going to give up Ultra Wings, Adam. So what do you think? Is there anything you can say about Stifled that's going to make me give up Ultra Wings?
I mean, you've already made your decision, as have I. The thing is, I think one of these golden streams, I want you to play Stifled. You just don't understand. If you liked Blind, first of all, you're blind. Second of all, Stifled is so much better. And the thing with Stifled is that you knew that we were going to have dogfighting or flying games in PSVR. Stifled was something completely brand new, where someone took what virtual reality presented and they thought outside the box. They said, how can I make this game unique and the concept unlike anything that 2D gaming can provide or anything that these users have ever seen in their life? And they're like, boom, echolocation, in which I sat in my room and I had to literally, I'm not going to say like scream, but I had to in some way yell to send echoes into the environment to see what I needed to do and hide from the enemies. The suspense that you get when running away from one of those little red baby things, you will not understand until you play it for yourself. I am very passionate that it is a better game, and I would much rather play it than Ultra Wings. You're going to play Stifled? Okay, give it 4 months. You'll probably want to play it again. I would play it again. I'll do it for the Golden Stream again. And I love it. So I'm picking Stifled. You're picking Ultra Wings. I will take – I will take 2, 3, and 6.
Well, I just want to say that you made an actually very good point, Adam, so in Stifled, do you actually make sounds with your mouth and the microphone picks it up and then echolocates based off that?
Yeah.
That's very cool. That is very cool. However, if we're going by our $10 rule, I spent like $30 on Ultra Wings, and I waited to buy Stifled. I waited until it was like $7.99.
It's because you're an idiot.
Maybe I'm an idiot, but I'm happy to spend $30 on Ultra Wings. So that's why I got to stick with Ultra Wings based on the rules of the game. So we're going to roll. What'd you say?
Who hasn't bought Ultra Wings?
You, because you didn't buy a game. Big surprise, Adam. 2, 3, and what?
6.
Good luck with that. 2, 3, and 6, and it goes to Stifled. And we got a big old 4, you big idiot. You big idiot. Ultra Wings is the wiener.
What? No, I want to re-roll. I didn't see that.
Ultra Wings is the wiener.
I didn't see it. No, don't do that.
I mean, I'm going to roll again, but it's not going to count.
3.
Ultra Wings is the wiener.
No. Okay. It's like deuces. One more time to decide it all.
No, you just were too stupid to watch the screen.
No,
I rolled the dice, and then you tried to use your own stupidity, your own inability to pay attention to the screen as reason to roll again.
I don't believe, guys. It's a setup.
How am I going to cheat?
Crap.
Oh my goodness!
You
Oh, you're the worst. You are the worst person.
Dude, Resident Evil 7 is better than Borderlands 2.
I want to vote for Borderlands 2 here, but you are absolutely freaking right. Resident Evil 7 is better than Borderlands 2. It's better.
We didn't have a single upset this whole thing.
Well, we're not. Okay, yeah, we're almost done.
Assuming a 6 doesn't get rolled here.
If we get a 6, come on, 6, man. Make us not look dumb. Oh, it's a 1. It's like the opposite of a 6. Oh man. Resident Evil 7 wins hard. It wins hard.
The whole
man.
With these statistics is because we didn't want Resident Evil 7 to run train on everybody, and it just happened anyhow.
Oh. So, Adam, why don't you recap what our Final Four is, and hopefully we can get an upset next week.
F us. So, Final Four for March Madness and PSVR is Skyrim, Chromagun, Ultra Wings, and Resident Evil 7. In which I've got to be honest. So, for all of this being 100% random, in terms of which games got into the bracket, which ones actually faced each other. Because like we said, what was Resident Evil 7 and another and Wipeout played like in the first round. Overall, it's actually, with the exception of Ultra Wings, I think pretty good. Like, Chromagun is the best tied, whatever, for the best puzzle game. Skyrim is incredible. Resident Evil 7 is incredible. Like, that's not too bad.
These are all games that I would stand by in the PSVR library. If somebody bought a PSVR and they said, what game should I buy? I would just say RE7, Ultra Wings, Chromagun, and Skyrim, and I would not have any hesitation recommending those games to anybody. They would have a great time doing it. So, yeah, it's not a bad Final Four. we got some weird stuff there. Ultra Wings coming out in the end was kind of surprising, and Chromagun was kind of surprising. I'm looking forward. Hopefully, we can get an upset, and we'll see who the champion's going to be. You know, maybe Google is saving that number 6 dice roll for when we get Chromagun versus Resident Evil 7 or something like that. You know,
or maybe we just need to change it up.
No, I like it. I like the way it's working, man, because it helps us decide.
A single 6. How about for the rest of this podcast, which, we don't have much to go, but you just keep rolling it and see how many times it takes again F and 6.
All right. Let's do that. Yeah. While we do the airing of grievances, Adam, do you have any grievances to air for me?
Here's the thing, man. I've thought about it, and I know this is pretty rare because typically I'm a pretty angry guy, but I honestly don't. State of play.
You got a 6 on the second roll, you idiot.
Fine. Yeah. And then how many times did we roll before then? I don't think this thing works.
5 times. We rolled 5 times before. I mean, sorry to interrupt you.
That's right. Regardless, state of play has me in a good spot. I'm looking forward to everybody's golf. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I'm afraid I'm going to get boned, but I'm willing to take it. Like, man, I'm excited for some golf. All those games coming out, really, something about seeing the 2D gamers whine like little effing babies just does my heart good and made me happy. I don't have anything. I don't have any grievances. I'm sure I'll come in hot and heavy next week, but I mean I'm happy. So I think I'm good. I think I'm happy. I'm done. I'm no airing and grievance.
I'm happy that on a week as seemingly slow as this one, Adam, that you are coming out happy. I, however, am unhappy. I had a bad incident happen today. For those that don't know, we are recording on a separate day. Segment 3 is being recorded the day after segment 2. You know, sorry to show you behind the curtain here, Wizard of Oz style. But segment 3, segment 2, we talked about No Man's Sky. I got super freaking hype about it, man. I want No Man's Sky so bad. I want it in VR so bad. I saw online that they're selling new copies at GameStop for $10. So what did I do? I pulled out my phone. I went to GameStop.com. I ordered the freaking copy for $10, paid for it on PayPal, said I'm going to pick it up at the store tomorrow, baby. But guess what happens? I try to order it. It says, oh, there was an error. Just try again later. So I tried it again later. Guess what? It said, oh, there was an error. Try again later. Just try again later. It'll be okay. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try it tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Meanwhile, PayPal is emailing me saying, why haven't you completed the order? You set aside the $10 here. You're ready to pay for it. Just go through with it. GameStop's the reason I'm not going through with it. They're not completing my damn order. I'm so freaking pissed off. I just want to buy this game for $10 brand new. You know what? I'm just going to go to the store and I'm just going to find a new copy and I'm just going to buy it for $10 there. So what do? I get off work. I come home. My daughter's sick. She's coughing up a lung. I don't give a crap. It's time for me to get No Man's Sky before the price jacks up. I grab my daughter like a suitcase, run out, throw her in the car, strap her in, and I strap myself in the car. We drive down to GameStop, and she's coughing. She's hacking. She needs something to drink. I say, you shut your mouth. I'm going to buy some No Man's Sky VR. We're going to get VR No Man's Sky. When you're older, you will appreciate that I did this for us. And so I pull her out of the car seat. I take her into GameStop. She starts pulling games off the shelf saying, what's this game, Daddy? What's this game, Daddy? I said, hush, kid. Shut your mouth. We're looking for No Man's Sky. We're looking for No Man's Sky. I'm looking. I look in the news section because it told me online. Freaking GameStop themselves told me online that we have it at the store and it's only $10 new. There's no new copies of it there, and there's nothing there for $10. I find it again. I find it in the used section, and it is now freaking $14.99. So you're telling me a new copy is $10, a used copy is $15? What? Like I'm going to pay somebody $5 for getting their stupid ass thumbprints all over my freaking disc? I'm going to pay that goober behind the counter at GameStop $5. Scratch up my freaking disc. No freaking way. But I'm not paying $25 for this damn game. I'm going to pay $15 for it. I don't mind paying $50 for it because VR is coming my way in the form of No Man's Sky. And so what do? I grab this case. I didn't grab the stupid one that has a stupid GameStop custom label. The freaking GameStop think I want to pay $18 for a copy of your game that has stupid piece of paper printed on it. Looks like every other damn game. Probably got snot on the cartridge or something like that. I don't even give a shit. So I get the version. It looks new. There's some scratches in the plastic. I don't care. I at least have the cover to the game. and it says $14.99. I take it up to the counter. I wait for about a half a freaking hour. My daughter's running around, running crazy, trying to find some Paw Patrol video game. Didn't she know there's no such thing as Paw Patrol video game? Oh, my goodness. Sometimes I'm disappointed in her. Anyways, some dude pre-ordered a game at another GameStop, and he's trying to buy it at this GameStop. He's trying to cancel his pre-order at the other GameStop. Oh, my goodness. So I'm sitting there waiting, holding this $15 version of No Man's Sky that should be $10. Actually, it should be $5 because the new one is $10. Anyways, I don't care. I'm going to pay $15. I don't mind. Finally, the guy comes up to me and says, "Can I help you, sir?" I said, "Yes, I just want to buy this game. Here, I'm waiting. I'm trying to be nice. I cleaned up my daughter's mess. Here, I put this on the counter. I give it to him. What do you think that beehole does? What do you think that idiot does?
He whips out his tater tot.
You idiot working at GameStop. I wish he would have, because that would have been a better story to tell. Stupid idiot. You know what he does? He turns around. He opens up the little cabinet where they got all the used scratch discs that they're going to try to sell me, and then try to sell me a insurance policy on it or something stupid like that. Freaking GameStop, you bunch of freaking idiots. Dude turns around. He pulls out the disc, and then he pulls out another case. It's not the case that's up on the shelf. It's an even more busted case. And what do you think the price says on that more busted case, Adam? The price says $18.99. What the f*** do you think you're talking about? The busted case I saw on the shelf that I didn't choose said $17.99. You're trying to pull a hot swap on me and make me pay $18.99 for the game. There should be $9.99 new, should be $5.99 used. But I picked up the $14.99 one. It says $14.99 on the box. I bring the box over there. If I go to the freaking Walmart and I get a bottle of Coke and it says it's $1.49, I take it up there, you try to charge me $2. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to punch you in the mouth. I almost punched this dude in the mouth. I said, "No, I'm not going to pay $18 for it. I'm not going to pay $19 for it. I'm not going to pay $17 for it." My daughter's right here. She's vomiting on your floor because she's so disappointed at the prices that you're giving me. I'm going to pay $14.99. I'm not going to pay a cent more than $14.99 unless you include tax. Then I'll pay 10% or 6% or whatever the tax is, for sales tax here. I'm not going to pay more than that, though. He looks at me, giving me huff and cuffs. "Oh, it's the computer, man. I can't get it to register. You know what? This idiot. He's got the freaking, those dudes get the freaking gauges in his ear or something like that. Like he's been in GameStop so freaking long. Dude doesn't play games. Try to talk to me about Master Chief and the new Halo game. I don't give a crap, dude. I'm here to get No Man's Sky for $10, and you charging me $15, trying to make me pay $20. Idiot. I'm going to do it for you. Damn straight you're going to do it. If I'm going to walk out the store, I'm going to take a dump right in the floor as I leave.
Oh. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you right here. If I got to pay $18 for No Man's Sky, it looks like I'm not playing No Man's Sky.
If I got to pay $18 for No Man's Sky, I'm burning GameStop down. I'm not really going to do it. Don't arrest me. I swear. It's usurious. It's usury. You are using me. You are taking advantage of me. I want VR. I want No Man's Sky in VR. Don't jack up the freaking prices. I watch you freaking do it live, you idiots. GameStop. GameStop. You are Satan on the gaming culture. I'm so glad you're about to go freaking bankrupt because you're such idiots about how video games work. It's easiest thing in the freaking world to sell. Everybody wants to play video games, but somehow you screwed up that business model, you dumbasses. Oh, can't wait for your brick and mortar ass to go underground. All right.
Well,
that does it for episode 56 of Play PSVR, the podcast. We hope you enjoyed our March Madness and the coverage of the state of play. Adam and I are really hyped about this. If you want to talk to us about, who you think is going to win the Play PSVR March Madness, reach out to us on Twitter. We are at Play PSVR. If you have comments, maybe you work for GameStop, you're getting all heated about it, send Adam a message at our email address, playpsvr@gmail.com.
Tell me why I shouldn't pay $18 for No Man's Sky. Ain't worth it.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. If you just want to have a hearty discussion with us, we don't post on there all the time, but we visit it. We like to talk to people about stuff. You can talk to us on Reddit. Our account is Play PSVR. You might see us commenting about stuff. Or, you can email us. You can tweet at us. You can find us on Reddit. You can go to the website, and you can give us comments. We want all of the feedback. We want to know why this podcast is terrible. We want to know why this podcast is great. If you do think it's great, please go to iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. We said we wanted those low-star reviews just for the fun of it, But we're getting up there, man. We got like 17 reviews. I don't know if that's a lot. I don't care if that's a lot. I want more 5-star reviews, man. Give me a 6-star review if it is possible. Teach me how these things go. All right. I'm Alex, and I'm here for Adam on Play PS4 the podcast. Have a good evening, and remember to close your legs.
Yeah.